look. It's an evening look. Your eyes being darker is okay. It's definitely okay. You can deposit some by rounding it out right there or turning the brush and just coming in. Either way, blend it back out. See how I'm blending it back out. Okay, now I'm going to take a smudger brush, or what I call a short shader. Actually, Sigma calls it a short shader E20, and other lines will call it a short shader. I am definitely going to load this up. Before I do that, I'm going to take a pencil brush. Sorry about that. On an evening look like this, you do want it to come down a little lower and instead of just on the lash line. So I'm going to use an E30 brush. And instead of using the dark, I'm going to use this color right next to it, which is almost like a, I don't know, y'all. It has a bit of a rose to it, but it's a taupe. So it's just a really unusual color. And so I'm going to use this pencil brush and just, come down underneath. As you can see, that really drops the color lower than just a regular liner brush. And this is the look that you see in a lot of models. Again, please ignore the fact that my eyes are so swollen right now. This is not my normal look, as y'all know. But, you have issues. And I'm trying to kind of play to it. Okay, so this is an E30 pencil brush from Sigma. So that's what I used. Now I'm using the shader, and I'm going in the darker color, and I'm going to stay to the lash line. It's just going to kind of reinforce the lash line. And really kind of darken up the area, which gives a very dramatic look. And you're talking about an evening look. Then I'm going to literally go up through the brow. And what that basically is doing is just reinforces that brow. I'm going to come down. There we go. And I'm going to come back through these front hairs just lightly to kind of blend it all in. There we go. And just see how that, look at the difference in that and that. It just really kind of, makes it look a little more dramatic. Okay, so again, I'm going to drop most of it right there. And then what's left on the brush is what we're going up through the brow with. And all you're doing with this color is really just kind of building a fuller look. That's all you're doing with this. I'm not doing anything precise, and again, I'm turning it sideways like this to where it's straight up and down, and just kind of going through the brows, the front of the brow, just to drop off a little bit more color, just to kind of, fill that in and make it look a little more full. And there's your look. So, now, that is extremely heavy makeup. So one of the things you want to do is make sure it looks blended. It's okay if it's heavy as long as it's blended and it looks on purpose, not like you didn't know what you were doing. So kind of use a fluffy brush and kind of fan out that edge. Fan out this right underneath the brow. Not too much. You don't want to overblend these colors. Again, over here, fan it out. Fan out right under the brow. You want to keep your highlighter color in there. And you don't want to go out here, but you're just kind of trying to thin that out, and we're going to kind of come in a little with that to make the nose look a little thinner. And if you want to make the lip look a little more plump, you can come in underneath it right there, and it just gives a little bit of a shadow. You don't want color, so get that color back off. You just want the shadow, and it just makes it look a little more plump. Some people even use, just to get the makeup off the brush and also to make it look a little cut in, a slight little swoosh. And it just gives a little bit of look of a line. Okay, and now we're going to go back to that blush. And this is the Chanel Rose Bronze, and it is absolutely perfect. And when you have an eye this heavy and you have on a red lip, normally you would do one or the other. Definitely tone down your blush. And this blush, you don't want to like a pink blush. This is a rosy blush, and it's just enough to just really, I'm going circulating in the temple area just to kind of give it a shadow. That's what you're trying to do. It's just a shadow, not so much color as a shadow. And a smile, you do want it on the front of the cheek. You want a little bit of that. Come down the nose a little, and definitely underneath the nose, especially if you have a large nose or a bulbous chin. Again, do right on the edge, just like my bulbous chin. I know my husband said they're laughing like, what is bulbous? But anyway, it's when your chin's a little too big. All right, so then you're going to cut in right here and here, but make sure you blend down, blend down. What you're trying to do is give some shadow effects, y'all, so that you don't look so white under here that you just look like a little fatty cheese under there. Woo, this is really swollen. So y'all try not to, we'll look at this side. So that is the look. One of the things I'm going to do is use a blender brush that's clean and kind of, you know what, I'm going to do this even easier. I'm going to use the back of my hand to get some of that. It's went a little too far and a little too much. Just make sure you blend it good. And then you can take a brush and just make sure it's almost like you're kind of getting a little bit of it off there. That's fine. You can also shape it. Remember to always have handy, but since I just did that, a black makeup towel. And also kind of wipe off the brush a little just to get, I mean, it's not the same thing as cleaning it, but it gets the basic color off. Alright, and then we're going to use this DHC liner. Again, I'm going to kind of shape that with my finger. There we go. Wipe it off on the towel. And there are so many wing lines you can do. Some people do a really thick one. I'm probably not going to do too thick of one. But there you see I'm coming straight back. I do dashes. See, just a little dash there. A little dash in front of that, back to that dash. A little dash in front of that, back to that dash. And it does just kind of help keep it as straight as possible. And then just be sure you bring it down, bring it up, bring it down, and get a nice little wing there. That's a nice little wing. I don't know that I want to go any more than that. Sometimes you just got to decide how dramatic for the evening you want to be. I feel like that's dramatic enough. And again, be sure and look and try to get about the same length and width. How far out did you come in? What angle did you come in? Best thing to do is see how your eyelid, your lower eyelid goes like that, and then it goes up. Just imagine, make an imaginary line in your eye to where it goes up, like it goes up there to there. And how far out you come, you can just have a little tiny one, or you can have a little longer. But if you do get a little longer, make sure it's got a thinner tail. Don't have a chunky tail. Okay, so that's done, but I want to kind of blend it back, so I'm coming to kind of blend that back. And when I do that, I've got to fill it back in at the lash line. There. They're a hair different, I think, but it's okay. Your eyes, your eye makeup, just like your actual eyes, is not perfectly symmetrical. That's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. Now, one of the things you want to do if you want to tone it down, so just say, oh, Beth, I just overdid it. I so overdid it. There's a couple of things you can do. You can get your blender and just clean it off really, really good. Use your towel and just little circular motions like that. Just kind of get some of the product off. Tap it off for any dust that came from the towel, you know, just because it is, after all, terry cloth. And then just blend it a little more if you feel like that was just too much. Stay away from that wet liner. I'm talking about up here. If you just feel like it's just too much makeup, blend some of it off. It'll come off on the brush, and it'll kind of tone it down a little. There. That kind of takes a little of it off. Now it's on here again, so wipe it off. It's not the same thing as a good cleaning, but it kind of cleans the brush off a little bit. Circular motions is good. Okay. Now we've done the waterline liner, we've done the wing liner, we've done our shadows and contour, we've done our face and contour. Some of you may want to do a bronzer. I don't want to do a bronzer. I don't feel like I need it. I went at such a sharp angle here. Look how this is white and it gives me a natural cut in. Let's just say you want more of a cut in. Then you can add, actually, instead of contour, add more white. I think that's what people don't get sometimes is you can add the wrong thing. Hold on one second. Add some powder there and it actually cuts it in more. You know, some people call it baking. I'm like, whatever you want to call it. But watch, watch how this, if I go right under that, see how that just wakes that up? Now you got to blend it out. And with the, do you see how it cuts in? You're going to have to blend that out nicely. And then also go ahead right under the lip and on either side of the nose and under. It just gives it a nice finished look. Right where the tear ducts are. Matter of fact, you can use the powder puff, y'all. Just go a little past the line into the blush, and that kind of blends it out. Oh, and also between the brows, right, and the forehead. And look what a nice matte finish that gives, and it kind of calmed down some of that color. And put your little bangs back over. I love bangs just for that reason, if nothing else. Look at all my hairspray just flung off. Okay, so now last step, mascara. I believe for any event, you always, always, always use waterproof mascara. Why? Because if you're going to go out dancing, you're going to sweat. If you're going to a wedding, you're going to cry. If you're going to be out all night, just whatever you're doing, even if it's not dancing or crying, you're still going to be gone a long time. Also, after you use your eyelash curler, when you use a waterproof mascara, it dries so quickly. It holds that curl that you just did from that eyelash curler so much better. So I am not a huge mascara fan of anything that isn't waterproof, as y'all know if you've been watching my channel. And I hope you have been. So I am going to go ahead. This is a Chanel eyelash curler. Y'all know my other favorite, which I usually curl them twice, so I'm just going to use my other favorite right now, is my Charlotte Tilbury because it's a wider band. So it really gets all the lashes. You literally just put the band on your lid, and when you press down even slightly, the little eyelashes pop up, and that's when you clamp down. Make this L position, and then let out just a little bit. And raise your elbow and put this back towards the socket, and it will be more of a C shape. I'm bouncing it just a little to kind of give it some pressure. See how they just popped right up? There's the L position, they're just straight up. But then you can give that a good squeeze. Then you want to let it out